seem to be two of the things that Brian mentioned. I want to talk to you tonight about developing a process to produce one of the shortest speeches you'll ever give, the short introduction speech, commonly known these days as the elevator speech. Elaine Rosenweit and Michael Caruso, when he was editor of Vanity Fair, dreamt up this concept that in the space of a lift journey, 30 seconds to 2 minutes, you could actually define a person, a product, a service. And the idea is that you might get into the lift and you press the button and say to the man next door to you, "What floor do you want?" "Oh, number 10. Must be going high." And then you say, "My name is Mark. I'm an accountant and I do this and that. And I so impress the man here who happens to be the chief executive of this company that he gives me a job." Yeah. Things don't always work like that. But it's important that we are aware of the importance of this type of speech, because it is a speech that most of us will give many times in many different circumstances. And if we don't prepare for it, if we don't have a process, and it's a process I want to talk about, we will miss out. So where do we start with the process? Well, the first thing you must always do when setting out to do something is define your objectives. And the objectives here are limited because you've got a limited time span. Even great Toastmasters, such as those in front of me, can only do a limited amount in 30 seconds or 2 minutes. So, what do you want to do? First of all, you want to get the person's attention. It's important these days that we get people's attention and keep it. This is the age of people with short attention span. The next thing we want to do is get our message across. And of course, there's one thing I've forgotten right at the beginning, is to create the first impression, because you never get a second chance to create the first impression. So we've got first impression, grab his attention, create a good impression, and fourthly, you want to leave space, an opportunity for him to respond, such as coming back to you, sending you an email, inviting you to come out for a drink and discuss work opportunities, or the opportunities presented by the product that you're trying to sell. So, we've got there. Now the next thing to do, of course, is to define the product you want to promote. And that might be yourself, it may be your company, it may be your service that you provide. And one of the most important things in doing this is the so what question. I'm an accountant. So what? There are hundreds out there. That lady's a teacher. So what? There are hundreds of teachers out there. What makes you a special teacher? Makes him a special accountant or whatever? Well, I want to take you back to the early 60s and a man with a broom, and he was sweeping in a big hangar in Cape Canaveral. And this story's been told many times and it's been sort of exaggerated a bit, but he was sweeping away and the old time and motion man comes up and says, "Can you describe exactly what you do?" And he said, "I am part of the team putting a man on the moon. Yeah, and he was. He kept the place clean. He was part of the support services. And so what we need to do when we're describing our job or our role in this 30-second slot is actually to grab people's attention and say something that really means, that sets you out. You're not just a teacher, you're actually providing children with the abilities and qualities and things they need for the rest of their lives. You're setting them up for life. I'm currently a guide at Kilkenny Castle, and I would say I'm actually taking people through 800 years of history, bringing that history to life and sharing my passion in history with them. So we differentiate ourselves, we make ourselves different. With any speech, you need to do certain things. You need to speak clearly. It's important you speak clearly on this speech because it may be the first time they've heard your name. Marco. You need to empathise with the person. You need to smile with them. Speak confidently. You need fluency or they'll doubt what you're saying. I'm running out of time now, but that just shows I needed to have practiced and prepared my speech better. I suggest we need to prepare our speech, our elevator speech, that we're going to say in 30 seconds to 2 minutes, very carefully, so we say it without problems and without running out of time. And my chief executive has already left the lift and I'm still talking. Thank you.